All right, so this week on the AdCast, there's been so much going on, but today I want to talk about what you do post-COVID. Now, everyone's talking about what do you do during COVID and coming out as an expert or leading the competition. Let's talk about what you shouldn't do. This is the AdCast.
You're listening to the AdCast.
There's three things that I tell people to focus on. That's your budget, your media, and your message.
People gon' call it the truth.
Every day I'm hustling.
If you hustle, you'll never go hungry.
Hustle and motivate. Hustle and motivate. That's why they follow me, huh? They think I know the way.
You're listening to the AdCast.
All right, everyone, I want to welcome you to a solo cast of the AdCast today. Now, there's been so much going on in the media, and first and foremost, I want to send my condolences, my heartfelt condolences to the family of Mr. George Floyd out there in Minneapolis, and let's all just pray for some peace and hopefully that we can have some unity going forward. So I wanted to say that first and foremost. All right, so as a marketer, there's been a lot of things that catch my attention. I'm sure they catch yours as well. And everyone's talking about coming out of COVID as an expert or leading the competition, how to stay ahead of the competition. I've seen all these Zoom calls. I see these Facebook messages, these groups, and everyone's saying, you know, if you hire me, you'll be ahead of the competition. Well, I want to talk truth today. I want to talk truth with you today. Just because you hire some video company or even a marketing company like us, it doesn't mean that all your problems are solved. Guess what? You had problems before COVID, and you're going to have problems after COVID. Let's look at you prior to COVID. Before going into COVID, if you were not an aggressive marketer and you did not have a good strategy and you did not have a good execution, now here comes COVID. Everything that happened with COVID, people were sheltering in place. Some restaurants, some won't reopen. And I hope that industry does come back. And I'd love to support our local restaurants here. But everything that's happening during COVID has really shut down some businesses 20, 30, and some 50% or more, right? So with that happening, now people are forced to kind of think. You have more time on your hands now to say, okay, what am I doing? How can I get out of this? You're going to have a strategy, and you're going to have an execution. So prior to going this, if you didn't have them, now that you are in the COVID era, think about it. Think about how to strategize and how to execute. We're going to talk about a lot of those things, and then how you can come out, when you do come out of COVID, how you can actually go full steam ahead. So anyone who's out here selling you dreams, saying that, hire us and as soon as COVID's done or whenever all the shelter in place orders are done, you're going to be ahead of your competition. That's bull. I'm sorry. It's just bull. And anyone who's trying to hire you with a pretty face telling you that, it's not true. You need to have a strategy. Let's talk about it. If you were just a spender, and you had no clear strategy on what you were going to do, when you were going to do it, and how you were going to do it, and you get in COVID and you're down, you're in trouble. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. So let's talk about how to get out of it. Enough of, the sadness and being in COVID and the shelter in place orders and how it's got your business down. I'm a business owner too. Here's what we did. We had enough time to work on ourselves. We worked on ourselves. If you are not an active blogger or social content writer, if your company is not, then you better become one. You're going to have to be loud and get noticed. It's not like when this is over, there's going to be some magic switch that's just going to come on, and now all of a sudden everyone likes you better than they liked you before. One of the companies that actually does a really good job of being a step ahead, think of Chick-fil-A, how they operate. During last summer and sometime in late 2019, they started investing in their drive-through, while other QSR restaurants are probably looking at them like, what the heck are they doing? They're building these twin drive-throughs, but they had the method down to a science. So when everything from COVID hit, it hardly affected them. They make the majority of their revenue through the window anyway. And so when they built this twin drive-through, they're able to do more tickets, more drive-ups than probably 2 to 3 McDonald's in a 3-hour time span. Now check the revenue. These guys can be open 6 days a week and close one day, which is a Sunday. That's the day we always want Chick-fil-A. And they do better with their processes, and they invested in resources to make sure that they are ahead of the times. So you want to have that Chick-fil-A mentality. They were great before they went into COVID. And so when COVID happened, guess what? When restaurants had to do curbside delivery only, they were ready. And then when they come out of it, they still may not have people in their dining rooms, but their drive-through, it's making just as much, if not more revenue than it did before. If you sucked before and you're in COVID, you're going to suck when you come out of it if you do nothing. Let's talk strategy. I always talk budget, media, and message. You're going to need those things before you need anything else. And don't let anyone tell you any different, even me. Budget. You're going to have a sufficient budget, a realistic budget that's going to align with your expectations. You're going to have to tell yourself the truth. You can't expect to make $1 million and you only want to spend $1,000. It just won't work. You're going to have to look at your competition to see exactly where your budget needs to be, right? You want to choose the right media. We're talking media now. So just recently, while all this was going on, I started paying more attention to people. And the one thing that they always have with them, or you always see on the table, whether they're drinking coffee or they're dining, they got their phones with them, right? So when we're talking media, is it television? When COVID first hit, everyone's eyes were glued to the television because we wanted to know exactly what was going on. What do we do? What's going to happen next? We were looking for answers or instructions on what we were doing. The truth is we were in some unprecedented times, but at the time, everything was focused on television. You won if you were on news. The great combination when you're doing any kind of television is always news and sports. Well, there's no sports on. So what did you do? You should have conquered news to be seen. So when you're talking about your media, you want to go after the media that's going to have attention. Well, right now, as of today, as of this episode today, there's not so many people that actually want to watch television or hear any more COVID messages or watch the presidential address. Now we're all tuned to what's happening in Arizona and Minneapolis and all these other places right now. That's what we want to know. We want to know that news. That's kind of fresh news to us. So now news has attention, right? Why are you not marketing to people on their mobile phones? The mobile phone used to be considered as the second screen. It is your first screen now. It is the first screen that they see when they wake up in the morning, and it's the last screen that they see when they go down. Check your own screen time on your phone and see exactly how many minutes you are using with your cell phone and where you're paying attention to. Because when you advertise, you want to advertise to be able to have attention, get the attention of the people. In the military, one of the most influential or one of the words that actually just impact you more than anything, if you have a line of officers, when they say that word attention, now everything's focused on you. So when you're advertising, remember we talked about budget, and now there's media. You want to choose the right media that's going to align with your budget, a media where you can have enough reach and frequency, and television is always hard to do both, that can actually give you the frequency so you can have your ad in front of enough people to make an influence. All right, so what I'm going to do, we already talked about budget, media, and we're going to talk about message right after we pay these bills and come back from a break. This is the AdCast.
You don't need a marketing agency. You do deserve very important placement. VIP Marketing and Advertising is a cutting-edge strategic digital, creative, media, and marketing partner that provides services for businesses of all sizes. To stay up to date on the latest marketing news, subscribe for email updates at veryimportantplacement.com.
Today's show is sponsored in part by Craft Creative. Change your creative, change your world with premium video production and graphic design. Get started by visiting WeCraftCreative.com.
All right, so now we've just paid the bills, and we were talking earlier about budget, media, and message. If anything, you can label this as the 3 magic pills if you wanted to. So again, we talked about just everyone saying like, hire me. When you come out of COVID, you'll come out of COVID the king, but you have to have budget, media, and now let's talk about message. So you heard me talking earlier about having a sufficient budget, a realistic budget, right? Enough budget that can help you get the success you need in the marketplace. Then you need to choose the right media, the media that's going to help you target, the media that's going to help you get the attention, and you can have enough frequency to be in front of people with your message. Now, your message, I had a guest on, one of the guests that we had in our first podcast. His name was Ken Harrell of the Joy Law Firm. Great guy. And one of the things we talked about was just investing in your creative. You're going to have to spend the money. You're going to have to spend the money. If not, you should not even start. There are so many folks that I would see, and they would spend 6 figures on their marketing campaign, and they want to spend a couple $100 on the creative. And now what you have is a mismatch. You're selling yourself short if you're not investing in your creative. You're not telling your story properly. Your story should be unique to you. And I would advise you to stay away from companies that actually sell you donuts. And what I mean by that is if they're selling you an ad that they did in North Carolina and they're trying to bring it here to you to South Carolina, stay away from it. You need something that's going to be unique to your business. Every business, every employee, every market, they're all different. So don't take a cookie cutter message. Cookie cutters belong on the shelf in Publix. You leave that alone. So make sure that your message is unique to you. It's going to tell your story. Make sure that your message is professional, that you take time in it. It shouldn't be something where you should just check it off the box and say, I got a commercial, or I have a commercial, let's air it. That commercial should be able to tell your story. When you are running a commercial or an ad on the radio, or whatever it is, that is your opportunity to put your presentation in front of listeners or viewers. If your presentation's good, then you'll capture their attention if you're targeting the right people, and then hopefully you should get the results that you deserve. So don't let someone come in and start saying to you that, you need to hire us, and once you hire us, your post-COVID problems go away, or when you're done, that you have a nice video, hire this video company or hire this marketing company, and this is going to help you lead ahead of the competition. You need to strategize. You need budget, you need media, and you need message. And if you are paying an ad agency or a creative agency and they're not presenting you with strategy and execution, then that's when it's time to call us. This is the AdCast. If you feel this podcast has been a help to you or could be a help to others, please don't forget to subscribe. You can listen to our podcast anywhere: iHeart, Spotify, Apple Music, Stitcher, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. And this episode is also going to be available on YouTube. To catch up on past episodes, go to heyi'meric.com, or you can always text me at 843-483-1555.
Copyright VIP Marketing and Advertising, produced by Craft Creative. For premium video production and graphic design, visit WeCraftCreative.com.